And welcome back to the stream. Welcome back, everyone. This is VTuber 101, where we go over all the basics that you might need to be aware of when you're considering jumping into VTubing as either a hobby, part-time job, or a full-time career. Now, just to get all the basic disclosures out of the way, I am not a AAA streamer. I do not claim to be a AAA streamer. I don't claim to know absolutely everything and have all the keys to all the doors that will lead to your eventual success. Any success that you do get as a result of us watching this stream is, if I am to be a little bit selfish, and part due to me, but by and large due to your interpretation and the fact that you've molded it against your goals. Now, in this stream, we will be going over what your first stream will look like, how to prep for it, and some things to consider, as well as what to think of going forward in terms of your VTubing career or VTubing hobby. But we're going to call it a career because that makes it easier to objectify our thoughts. So, just set your expectations. Like I said, not a AAA streamer. I don't know all the answers. I don't know all the questions. I'm just imparting the things that I've learned across this 8-month-old journey. And if you've been watching this series up until this point, we've gone over how to set up your character. We've gone over some things and tips and tricks on how to set up your computer. We've even gone over things to consider regarding setting up your games, what games to play, what sort of content you want to do. And you might be thinking, with this sort of setup, with all those thoughts in mind, you might be ready and raring to go and will achieve success from day one. The reality is that's not the case. Your day one stream, more than likely, you will not achieve your goals from day one. And you know what? That's okay. In fact, most streams, including myself, very much felt like a scene from Airplane. If you don't know what Airplane is, I feel incredibly old for bringing it up, but it's a movie where things get planned horribly wrong and horribly right, and things just go south in the most comedically funny way. And that might be what your first stream looks like. And you know what? That's okay, because like I always say, treat everything like the Bob Ross method. And you'll find that, your first stream, provided you're not aiming for perfection, will turn out right. Because like Mark Pierre White says, the moment you accept the fact that nothing will be perfect, you will achieve your version of perfection. Now, if you want to get more into depth on what your day one could look like, how to better prep for it, some things to consider, some things to not do, and there's a certain niche little thing that you want me to go obscenely in depth with, I will take note of that. And when I reach affiliate, I'll take either that suggestion or a bunch of other similar suggestions, package them together, and then do an entire in-depth thing as encyclopedic as I can so that your question is answered. Now, the reason I'm not doing that in this stream is because everything I do up until this point is clip notes. It is VTubing in broad strokes, because it is just enough to get you thinking along the right track without it being an obsessively long lecture. Now, those who were here for my previous stream where we went over infrastructure and things of that nature saw that it went for an hour and a half. And as someone who's trained in IT, I can tell you for certain that even though it was an hour and a half, that was the condensed version. So when I say condensed, believe me when I tell you I'm not trying to think of any less of your intelligence. It's just bite-sized information. But again, if you feel as though it's too bite-sized or you want something to be elaborated on, etc., so on and so on, I'm available on Twitter, TikTok, Discord, and YouTube, and right here at home on Twitch. If you want to send a message to me as to what you think should be covered, your best way to get a hold of me is type in !Discord, where you can link directly to my Discord. I always have it open when I have my computer running, and you'll be best able to reach me there. But if you want to keep up to date with what I'm streaming, or if I get your video out at some point, you can type in ! Links. There we go. This will link you through to my link tree, which is attached to all of my socials I have mentioned before. Just to go over it again, I'm available on Twitter, TikTok, Discord, YouTube, and right at home on Twitch. So, just to help ground this conversation, we're going to anchor it around these 3 points here. We're going to go over the plan for day one, we're going to go over some pre-flight checks to make sure that all of our stuff is set up, and then we're going to ask, what do we do from here? Pretty simple, let's get into it. So, when considering your day one, you might first approach this page. This is, generally speaking, what the first little snippet of the Twitch homepage will look like. It'll have a bunch of streamers doing a bunch of things with various amounts of viewers, going from 163 all the way up to 692, and you'll have like a bunch of different games. And you might look at the numbers that they're getting and the fact that what you want to do isn't mentioned on here. And you might compare that against something like Twitch Tracker and go, well, if these many people are streaming and there are this many live viewers, I might not have a chance of getting any viewers up there. You know what? Don't be that guy. In your first few months, in fact, maybe even in your first year, you might not get the viewers that you want or as many viewers as other people. Don't do the whole comparing yourself to other people thing, because success as it stands is relative to your goals. So when you're first starting out, you're very much discovering who you are as a content creator, the content that you want to create, what your audience is, what they like, what they don't like, and that might mean that you don't get those numbers straight away. And you know what? That's okay. Because eventually you will figure out what it is that you want to do. And once you have that figured out, then you'll start to go, okay, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. This is what my audience is reacting to. You'll start to get more familiar with how to use analytics. And that is something that you'll learn in combination with a bunch of other questions that you'll both discover and answer. That process right there takes time. And it's not necessarily something that you'll get right from day one. So if you're feeling stressed out by that, and by the fact that your first stream didn't go the way that you planned it to, and because you went through all the process of ticking all the boxes and going, I'm going to achieve success from day one, hooray! And then you don't get that success, remember this phrase, Hakuna Matata. It means no worries. Because you will get the answers to your questions, one way or another. If you are genuine and you're driven towards your goals, you will achieve success. It's just, success is like a very good cheese. It just takes time to start from I have created this wonderful thing for it to then travel along its journey and then mature into the final product that you are trying to create. And it may not turn out that your final product won't be what you originally envisioned it. And you know what? That's okay. That's all right. You know what we call that? We call that growth. So, your day one if we were to grind up all the different ways that you could do a stream and all the different ways you could do a day one and distill it into alternatives, into options, into things to consider, it will boil down into two roughly shaped options. Either you will excuse me, how rude. I burped on stream. It will boil down into one of two options. Either you will stream, like straight from day one, what it is that your channel is going to be known for. Or, if you're going down the more, my avatar is not just a mask, it is a character that I'm going to act out, it could be that you debut that stream. It could be that you go, I'm going to introduce my character. I'm going to introduce it to the world. I'm going to show it to everyone. And we're just going to go roughly over those two options so that you can see what one may or may not be right for you. So, if you're just streaming what it is that you're going to be doing, you're pretty much just going to set it up like we've discussed in previous streams or videos if you're watching from Twitch. By the way, by the way. Hi YouTube, nice to see you. Thanks for joining in. You'll just be setting up your overlays, setting up your scenes, and then just jumping straight into whatever it is that you're doing, be it playing games, be it something like VR chat or Pikmin, or if you're on the more artsy side, you'll go into drawing art. Basically, it's jumping straight into your performance. It's pretty much what your day one will look like. If you are going to do a massive hurrah about this, do be prepared to have questions asked. And if you do get questions asked of you, don't freak out. Try to answer them as best you can, because it is a bit of a different situation where you're both streaming, and also paying attention to chat as well. Also, another tip that I've learned from people who are more experienced than I am, who have expressed maybe not frustration, but discontent of this thing happening, is it could very well happen where you get raided by other people. Now, if you don't know what a raid is, it's where someone sees that, you're streaming, and then they send all of your viewers to your channel. If you find that happens during your stream, don't freak out. While it is a very rare thing to happen, it is not something that you should be terribly frustrated at, or terribly surprised by, or just terribly concerned about. If anything, it is a joyous occasion that someone has taken note of you and said, I'm going to entrust my community to you for however long that they want to stick around. If you find that it does happen, it's generally considered polite to stop, say hello to the streamers, or welcome them in, and most streamers, although it's not a requirement, do take the time to stop what they're doing, introduce themselves to both the channel, themselves, what they're known for. And by and large, how you react to a raid will define who you are as a streamer in certain aspects. So do consider how you would respond in that situation, because it very may well happen to you. Now, that's streaming. Bit of a falafel, but that's more or less what it would look like. Now, we're going to touch on what a debut will look like, and that is the same, but also more involved. Excuse me, just had to take a sip of the old boomer juice. So, it'll start with an introduction. Now, this introduction can go one of two ways. You can just go straight into you going, hi there, hello, with your avatar, introducing yourself. Or another thing that you could do is, if you've gone through the effort to have like a video made for you, it could go, you go straight into that video being played and run through. And that video, if you do decide to get one made for you, it should be brief enough for people to get an idea of your character, but also give them an introduction to... It should be brief but concise and introduce people into your character. It should get them to buy into your theme, your brand, your identity, and then transition into you presenting yourself. Either way, your introduction, where you will step on stage or on your virtual stage and talk to your audience, you'll start to talk about your character. Maybe you'll list a few fun facts about them, and if you want to go into a little bit more depth about your lore, or you don't do the video and you want to talk about your lore just verbally, this is a good place to do it. Now, what you want to do, this is where you will discuss what it is that you are going to do. It could be that you're going to cover one very niche thing in terms of your performance. It could be maybe you're just doing art, maybe you're just doing video games, maybe you're doing multiple. And you're allowed to do more than one thing. In fact, many VTubers see success by providing a bit of variety on their channel so that you can cater to more than one side of your audience. And the possibilities are very much endless, provided it meets the community guidelines of whatever platform you are streaming to. Because if you'd like, you can also take these steps and apply directly to YouTube or Twitch. The possibilities are virtually endless. Now, the channel's main focus differs from what you're going to stream just a little bit. Before you talked about your character and what it is that you're going to do, here is where you start to more refocus on your channel's brand as a whole. Like, while your character may be one thing, are you going to be known as a cozy streamer? Are you going to be known as energetic? Are you going to be the deviant? And this is also where you can say, these are the things that you find acceptable, and these are the things that you do not find acceptable. Now, here is where you can go over like a few more of your favorite things. While it is not a required part of your debut, it does allow you an opportunity to provide a pinch more flavor, like to do the whole Salt Bae thing and say to the audience, I like this specific genre, I like this style of music, I like this kind of art. You can go over your likes, your dislikes, and many other things that will give people more buy-in to both you, your channel, your content. And here is, and this is by and large where you may finish it off, you'll go, what is your end goal? Like, ultimately, where is this channel going to end? And you could have more than one goal, and these goals can either be short-term, like, I'm going to achieve so many viewers in so many months' time. It can be long-term, I'm going to reach affiliate, I'm going to reach a partnership, I'm going to collaborate with Ninja Sanji, or whoever it may be. And if you don't know what these are, or you don't have concrete goals, it is okay to not explain what these are or not touch on this section at all. But now is a very good time to go, okay, I need to start thinking of what this is, because once you start having goals, then you can start working towards those goals. And once you start working towards those goals, that's when you'll start getting success. And your channel, as a result, will grow way more quickly, because rather than you just sitting idle, you're working towards something, you're growing, you're developing, you're making plans, you're doing connections, and so much more can be achieved if you have a target. And if you want to, you can finish with a Q&A session, like the whole thing, like the whole presentation. You can finish it with a Q&A section where you'll answer some questions from your audience, or you can ditch the Q&A section and jump straight into what it is that you're streaming, while also providing an opportunity for those questions to be asked if people do come up with them. But ultimately, have fun. A lot of work has been done to get up until this point where you are ready for a day one stream. And ultimately, that's what I would impress upon you to be here to do, because streaming is a wonderfully glorious adventure. You will see so many things, you will do so many things, you'll interact and play with so many people that you probably never would have otherwise. And if you allow yourself to have fun, you will have probably one of the best experiences online to date. Now that we've gone over what things to consider for what to do on your day one, we'll go over what I call the pre-flight checklist. Now, this is what I'm about to show you, just, to pre-warn you. It is a bit of text to go over. But I assure you, once we walk through it, it's not going to be too bad. And hopefully, my hope is this will help you feel more confident that you've got your settings done right in OBS or whatever other streaming software that you'd like to use. So, we'll start with the basics of basics. Make sure that your avatar is received from your artist. Now, if you are your own artist, make sure you've got your avatar set up. Make sure that whatever program you're using your avatar with is, configured correct. And just tick that box off, because once you have that, everything else is relatively easy. Make sure that Twitch is set up in OBS, or YouTube if you want to go down that route. So you set that up in Twitch by going into settings and going into stream, and you can do one or two things from there. You can insert your stream key, or you can do what I prefer to do myself and log directly into Twitch through OBS, because that way it just makes life easier for me, I find. You want to run your auto configuration wizard to make sure that you're aware of what the most ideal settings are from your computer to Twitch. Set up your resolutions based off of those settings. If you have a recording folder set up, as in you are going to record your stream, chop and change it, then upload it to YouTube, make sure you have that set up on a hard drive that has enough space for that recording, because these recordings can get quite big. I personally recommend saving it to an external hard drive or another hard drive if you have another one installed that is set up with the space necessary for a day one recording. What size that file will end up like, what size that file will end up being will depend on a number of different things, but I'd recommend for a day one stream, try to have anywhere from 50 to 100 gigs set up. Not that it will use all of that space, but just to be safe and feel a little bit more confident that you're not going to completely nuke the amount of space left on your hard drive. And also make sure that all of your sources for your avatar and all your overlays are set and ready to go. Jumping into the intro screen setup. Again, if you have a specific overlay, make sure that that's set up. Make sure that all the art and music that you're using is copyright free. Make sure all your sources are working. So if you have like certain plugins that you're using, or there is a certain element that you're going to integrate into your intro scene, make sure that that's set up, and also have a hotkey set up for your intro scene, so that if you have to immediately switch back to that for whatever reason, say you made a snafu or things got a little bit busy, you can boom, hit that hotkey, jump away, and then jump straight back into the business that you're doing. Jumping into the game setup screen. Again, much the same setup steps as the intro scene. Art, music, copyright free, all of your sources are set up working, and these sources are your overlays, it is your avatar, it is the game capture that you're using, it is your audio inputs and your audio outputs, and if you're using stream music, make sure that that's set up working as well. Also, do set up a hotkey for this as before you start streaming, because if you have what you want to do is you want to have it where you can launch your game, have OBS set up on a separate monitor if you have one, and then hit your hotkey so that your stream transitions into whatever it is that you're doing, be it playing a game, be it doing your introduction, be it playing a video, whatever it may be. And once you have all that set up, you want to do like a little half-hour to an hour test stream where you go over all of your settings, confirm that they are set up correct, do a quick half-hour stream to Twitch, and then also I highly recommend that you record that half hour as well, because what you're going to do is you're going to record that on your computer, you're going to stream to Twitch. Once your stream has ended, you're going to go into Twitch's video editor, you're going to play that stream, and then you're going to compare it against the recording that you have, because what you see on your computer may not necessarily be what it is that's streamed to Twitch. And I'll just quickly explain why. Let's see. I'll just quickly exit out the thing real quick. There we go. So, let's see. Where is it? There we go. Display capture. So we will go over here. Now. Whoop. No. There we go. So, if you go, not stop, behave OBS. Now, if you look over here, you'll probably see this little box here. That box is a general indicator of the quality of your stream from your computer to Twitch. And if that stream is green, that means that connection's good, your stream's good, and generally speaking, the quality of your stream won't drop. But oftentimes you won't be able to see that, or you may not even be paying attention to it. So if you have your OBS recording directly on your computer, and then you compare that against your recording on Twitch, that means you can go, okay, something's wrong. Is it the resolution? Is it the audio? Is it the something? What is it that I'm doing wrong? Because a lot of the time, if you find that your stream is a little bit choppy, if you find that things aren't going right, it's best to have a comparison between what you see and what Twitch sees, so that you can go, that's incorrect. Now, as for how you specifically troubleshoot that, or things to look out for, or specific steps to take, it is kind of outside the scope of this presentation. But there are many people on the internet who will be able to go, okay, this is the trouble you're experiencing here is the recommended troubleshooting steps. The information is out there, you just need to ask the right questions, and I'm positive that you will find resolution. Now, back into the presentation. Oh, nope. There we go. Alright. Now, if you find that there are some faults, I'd recommend that you fix those faults, retest. If the retest is fine, you can tick it, you'll be fine, you'll be sweet. And that's pretty much all of the pre-flight done, pre-day one stream. Now, you might be asking, where do I go from here? My day one, all my pre-flight's done, my day one stream is complete. What is the next step? Where do I go from here? What do I need to do? I can't answer that question for you. I'm sorry, but I can't, and I don't think anyone can. Success and what we should do to reach success are defined by our own goals. So, I can't say for certain what it is that you need to do to achieve success. And I think it would be foolhardy for someone to say this is the specifics of what you need to do. While I do think that having a consistent schedule, checking your analytics, staying true to your audience, things that you should do and be consciously aware of, as well as advertising your content and your schedule on things like Twitter, on things like Instagram, on things like TikTok, are things that are relatively easy to do and things that everyone at any level should be doing. The specifics of what performances you should be doing, what game you should play, what type of content you should release, are only going to be able to be answered by you and your goals. Now, just as a final note from me, there is no guarantee of success, and nothing in VTubing is certain. There is no absolute way of knowing what it is that you're wanting to do, and the performance that you do will guarantee you any level of achievement, any accolades, anything like that. What I can say is the only way you'll know for sure is to take the first step. Prepare as best you can and execute. And you might not achieve success from day one. It may take time. But if this is genuinely something that you want to do try, do persevere, do it as often as you can, try not to put yourself out, and maybe you'll achieve some measure of success. But only if you apply yourself. Now, another couple of things to recommend is breathe. A lot of people might be stressed out by the fact that you're going from just playing games for an audience, and that is a big step. But provided that you prep, you'll be fine. And again, plan carefully. Be prepared to get messy and make mistakes. Be the only you that you can be, because there's no one else in this world quite like you. But most of all, have a great adventure. And I want to thank you for watching this presentation. This is going to be the last video in this series because, like I've said before, I can't teach you anything else beyond this point. Like technical stuff, things to set up, certain issues, maybe I can help you with, but everything beyond this point is on you. And if you feel like you're worried, if you feel like you're stuck, if you feel like you may be drowning, the VTubing community is large and wide and with a never-ending river of support. And while I may not be with you on that journey, I want to say that even considering the option, even and planning towards a day one stream and actually executing your day one stream is probably the easiest step, because once you decide to take that step and get into VTubing and do your day one stream and go, hello world, here I am, you've already made the hardest choice, you've already done the hardest task. Everything else from here, even though it may feel like a climb, relatively speaking, will be downhill. And as always, I want to thank you for joining this stream. If you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing, where I'm streaming, or who I'm streaming with, you can type in exclamation point links at any time. I am available on Twitter, TikTok, Discord, YouTube, and right here at home on Twitch. And if you feel like being especially generous, excuse me, you can type in exclamation point donor into the chat at any time. This will link you through my Ko-Fi page. Again, I do not need your donations. I do not require any support to run this channel. I'm more than capable of running it by myself. That being said, money is a lubricant to make things. Money is a lubricant that makes certain things like this, especially VTubing, become a little bit more easy. So if you have a couple of cents spare, I won't say no to them. I will be streaming again tomorrow playing Sleeping Dogs. That'll be around 7:30 PM UTC 13, and if you feel like you might want to join in, that'll be the time to do it. And like I end every stream, I hope your day went well. I hope your day goes well. I hope you've achieved or will achieve everything that you set out to do. And until we see each other again, goodbye for now.